Hiya guys, how are you all doing? So, well, I think this is a bit difficult for me really, because you know it's almost like being schizophrenic, and I think it's probably like this for a lot of people, a lot of soul travelers right now, is that we still experience the shadow, which is mass consciousness, which is vertigo, which is all the brainwashing and the programming, the trauma-based programming, the manipulation, the gaslighting nonsense, all of it is there screaming at us, and it's causing a lot of very heavy emotions. I've even noticed and felt some people that, you know, I thought were awake, actually just beginning to unawaken, as in, you know, like slinking back into so horrific mass consciousness here, like, oh, you know, everything, I don't know, like falling in line. Fear will do that to some people. Fear will do that. It makes them fall in line. It makes them think, oh, I better just do as I'm told and stay safe, sort of shit. Now, we don't know, I don't know what is going to happen here. But I have a good idea, because let's face it, people went, you know, look, we some of us have seen this coming for years now, and I thought about this carefully. I thought about becoming a prepper, and then I thought, you know what, I'm not doing it. And the reason I'm not doing it, or haven't done it, is because if that is the kind of world I would be forced to live in, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother. I might have enough food, I might be able to survive, but my life would not be worth living. In a scenario where the devouring beasts literally implement their Babylonian agenda, which we see it playing out here right now, we are, successfully, life won't be worth living. It just won't. They will literally devour everything. They will rape and torture and murder everything, one way or another, because that is their nature and that is what they do. They are the devouring beasts. So I've had to look at that. You know, I've had to look at that. I've had to allow myself to feel that, to see and get what's going on, surrounded by people who are blind, well, the NPCs, so you know, you can't really expect them to be anything else, but even people that I know damn well have a soul, because I can feel it and they're there and whatnot, but they're not awake. They believe it's a virus, which, yes, it is. I think people are sick. This virus is clearly engineered, because it's a damn sight worse in Iran and Italy than in China, where it's all A-okay now, supposedly, apparently, whatever. You can't trust the news, so whatever they're telling us, is it true? Who knows? I have, there's somebody I know who lives in Italy, but I sent him an email, but he didn't really reply to say that he was afraid, which is like, what the fuck, because not the sort of person to really be afraid. This is what I'm trying to say. There are people now that I thought of as quite courageous and pithy, all of a sudden cowering behind their sofas with a stack of toilet paper. Now, I'm not the most courageous person alive. I'm very sensitive, extremely sensitive, you know, as empaths, soul travelers are all extremely sensitive, and no, we're not the most courageous of people, in a way, because everything hurts very much. We've been like a walking wounds all our fucking lives anyway, so life has been really tough, and now it's about to get a damn sight tougher. When countries close their borders, when all the different laboratories petri dishes that are countries, that is basically what they are, you see. I've said this before. When they close up shop, then the infrastructure is all locked down, people. Food that we consume will not be on the shelves anymore. Locally produced food will have to feed a shitload of people, so there will be a shitload less of it. The economy, there won't be an economy. There just won't be. Money. All of a sudden, ceases to be of any kind of, money is neither here nor there. That's just a piece of paper now. On one level, and I do feel the need to talk about this, because I can sit here, skim over that, pretend everything is okay, and just be happy, but that is not how I feel. This is a dual thing. This is very polarized, because I feel the darkness. I see damn well what's happening, and anyone being in denial about that, and anyone saying, oh, well, just be happy and pretend it isn't happening, is a fool. I'm not saying to be afraid. I'm not saying to go into it and be terrified and whatnot, because fear is the mind killer, and our fear is their power. Somebody left a comment beneath a video on a YouTube channel, and it said, our fear is their power, and I thought that was very good, so I'm using it here, but I did not coin it. It was somebody else. Right, Looms, John, come down. Just a minute, peeps. Come on, baby. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's all, I know, there's not much to see out there, because everybody's sitting behind their sofa now, you see, with their AK-47s and their loo roll. Yes, see, Looms isn't worried here, because he knows that Mummy's got so much cat food. And Mummy's got shitloads of frozen chicken and sardines, and Mum will go and get tuna today as well. I will fight them for it if I have to. I will do it for you, my son. But where was I? Right. To basically be chuckle-headed now would be a massive mistake, people. We need to be with it, on the fucking ball. Let the dad bury the dad. Forget about it. Do not waste your energy going out there trying to wake people up or trying to tell them, well, you know, I was doing that a bit yesterday. And I did it 3 times, and it was meant with blank stares or dribble, you know what I mean? People just aren't interested. Let the dad bury the dad. Do not waste your energy. Do not waste your time. Instead, think very carefully about what your needs are. Emotionally, mentally, physically, materially. By that I mean food, shelter, clothing, all your basic necessities, right? Have a good look at your life and realise that you haven't got anything you really need. Oh my god, and then panic. No, that's not what I'm saying, but some of you no doubt are preppers, so you might be feeling a little bit more secure, but ultimately, you know, if this pans out, as in evil wins, we are looking at a scenario that you won't want to be living in, one way or another, no matter how well prepared you are. So, this is a massive crash. This will make 1928, I think, when was it, 1929, look like a picnic. They're crashing the system. The system is interesting because I've done quite a few tarot card readings, and I keep getting the same cards. The Tower. I get the Tower, and I get the Emperor. And the Emperor, the Emperor in that particular reading, stands for, you know, the structures of this world. The powers that be, rather, you know. The Babylonians. But you see, I've been paying attention as well, and I see all these so-called politicians and leaders and whatnot looking profoundly haggard. the Queen of Denmark addressed the people. I mean, this is it, you know. It's like, this is how dependent, how codependent we are. We wait for somebody in authority, so-called, to tell us what to think and what to do. And still a lot of people that are awakening are still doing that. Well, I need somebody to tell me what to do now and what to think and where to go and ooh. And it's like, no. Now is the time to think for yourself. Do not put your faith in the things and people of this world, the systems of this world, because it's become very obvious, hasn't it, that that is a complete and utter waste of time. Yes, it is, people. I think, well, it's an interesting situation we are finding ourselves in now. And one thing I will say, because again I've noticed that there is an almost reluctance in people to reach out. People want to isolate, and this, believe me, is what they want, you know. They want you to isolate yourself. They want you to not talk, commune with other people. This is the great divide and conquer. Oh, isolate, don't phone anybody, don't even Skype with them, because, you know, like the coronavirus is going to be transmitted to you via your computer. It's like, what the fuck? That's what they want. That is what they want. My advice is, set up a Skype connection if you haven't got one, or if you have got one, then start reaching out to people that you care about, that you know care about you, and stay in touch and find out firsthand from those people what is happening in their neck of the woods, right? Get your info, because it feels very much like Harry Potter, the fucking Deathly Hallows, where, you know, the Dark Lord and his minions have taken over. It really feels like, I keep looking up in the sky expecting to see a giant smoky skull. Seriously, I do. But it's whether you trust Dumbledore or not. And if Dumbledore is the Great Mother here, then I say, yes, I do trust the Great Mother here. I trust myself. I trust my higher self. I trust the Great Mother. I trust this sense that I have of the light. Call it the light, call it what you like, call it anything you like, call it Perry. I trust that. I trust and know that I am worthy, that I am valuable, that I am precious, that I have become a decent human being, a being of compassion, a being of empathy, a being of wisdom, which was earned. I've earned my wisdom, and I, you know, the little bit of it that I have, I've worked very hard for that, as have we all, and that is truth. Now, hang on to that which is true, that you are valuable, that you are worthy. Hang on to that, for it is true. The Babylonians have done everything in their power to make you believe that you were a worthless piece of shit, and therein lies their power over you. But when you start to realize that you are valuable, you are, and that you are worthy, and that you are, as in the great I am. Start saying that to yourself throughout the day. I am. How does that feel? That feels good and that feels potent. Good. So work with that. Work with that which empowers you now. That is what we need to do, people. We have two choices. We can give in to the paranoia and imagine all these worst case scenarios and all the horrors. Believe me, my mind's doing all of that. Because we know what these creatures, these beings are. Well, we know the human minions, we know what they are, and we see their works. I know there's this whole thing going on. Was it Jonathan Fulford? Was it Benjamin Fulford? And oh yeah, everything is in hand. The white hats are sorting it out. But again, no. However, that doesn't mean that we are all alone in this, because I do believe in that the fall of the multiverse. I believe, I sense rather, that there are people, beings on our side in this, and I've had dreams and the usual sort of shit go down, so somehow, despite everything, I have at the core of me a stillness, a peace, a strength, a power that says that all shall be well somehow. But that probably won't happen overnight. So we'll have to tighten our belts, people. I think we will. Which in my case will be absolutely fine. I can stand to lose about a stone in weight because I stopped smoking and I gained quite a bit of weight. So, fair enough. I'll just sit there, nibble on my, I don't know, my Brussels sprouts, whatever. As long as I can have my coffee. See? They could make me do anything for a cup of coffee. Anything at all. Not really. I have noticed this, people, that we all have a hole within us. We have a great big gaping hole at the epicenter of our being that we fill up continually with something. We need that distraction of, oh, and now we're going to sit down and watch a good film. And now we're going to go and have that cigarette. Yeah, that's nice. That's comfort. Now we're going to go and have that meal. Now we're going to have that cup of coffee. Yeah. It's as if we constantly need to put something in ourselves. What happens when that stops? What happens when there's no television to watch, there's no food to eat, there's no coffee to drink, there's no cigarette to smoke? Yes, you're not starving, you're not in, but oh, I can't fill up the hole anymore. Then you'll have to face it. Because what that hole represents, people, is self-betrayal. I think it's that lack of self-love, that lack of self-respect, that lack of self-nurturing. That's what I think that is, you see. Because when all's said and done, people, that has got to be our biggest, that's it, that's what it's all about now, is self-care, self-love, to once and for all realise that we are precious, that we are worthy, that we are valuable. And like I said in my previous video, this what's going down now is triggering us in a massive way. So we will be, like I said, very schizophrenic. Shadow issues will come up, and it will come in waves of hopelessness, despair, fear, rage, sense of, because the vertigo, the sickness, the self-hate, putrid filth that is evil, that is the Babylonians, which is why they are the way they are. They are the devourers, because it's all self-hate ultimately. I can feel it. It's very palpable. Ooh, I felt it very strongly, and throughout the night I had waves of it. Just, I can feel the dark generator, and I can feel the purging, and it feels like shit, but it's a good thing. So I say, fair enough. I'll just, yes, okay, another wave of it. Whoa, wow. Okay, and then another wave comes, and that's how it's been pretty much for days now. It's a great cleanse is what this is as well. So whilst we're navigating that, we're also able to be present and be in our sacred space with the true self component, the sentinel, the witness. And there is that power, that stillness that says, yeah, I am powerful, valuable, I am, meaning there was never a question about that. There was never a question about my intrinsic value, my intrinsic worth, my intrinsic power, my intrinsic right to be here. Because I am. Ha! There. You know. So despite the fact that we have the mentors flying around everywhere, we have great big smoky skulls in the sky and great big hands coming down with fingers like that, because that's a bit what it feels like. You know, we will stand our ground here, people. Well, I for one will. I can do that despite the dark onslaught and the dark generator, right? I can do that. I can do it. Because that's just how it is right now, people. Fear is a powerful teacher, people. All this darkness is a powerful teacher. That's what it is, right? And we are not here to be slaves to it, but be careful. See. Hear. Know. Take action accordingly. Speak wisely. Very difficult, isn't it? Especially for someone like me. I like speaking quite a bit. And connect with each other. That I feel I need to say. I mean, be discerning who you connect with, mind you. Connect with people that are on the page. Connect with people that nourish you, that inspire you. Do not connect with energy vampires. Bad idea. Bad idea, especially now. That we need to conserve our energy, our everything, our essence. Very much. So be with people that do not detract from you, but people that are able to stand in their own power. People that, can go through shit and feel afraid, yet hold their own. That's what I would say. But yes, reach out, connect. You know, I mean, you can find me on Facebook. I'll be on Facebook, so if you want to message me there at any given time, send me a friend request at any given time, that's fine. I will post a link to my Facebook page below the video. And I don't know, somehow people, I feel that we are going to navigate this, and I feel that despite this, I know what it looks like, but I don't exactly know what is going on behind the scenes. I know that this is, without a doubt, obviously a hostile takeover that people have been talking about for a long time. But that in itself is kind of becoming, that is kind of predictive programming, because when people, the consciousness, when it's broadcast over and over and over again that this is going to happen, and more and more people get into it and believe, oh, this is going to happen, you know, it influences the field. This is what I mean, and I say that whilst we're going through this clear out, this shit triggers load, and let it up and out and up and out and up and out, and purge that and navigate through that. But then at the same time there is the light, and so imagine what you want to come out of this. This could end up or turn into or become a light reset. Because hey people, I said this in my last video, the system had to crumble one way or another, I think, because it's a pile of shit. It makes us junkies. We are junkies in the system. That is what we are. We depend on the powers that be for everything. Well, somebody's got to fix the roads, and there's something wrong with my gas supply. Ooh, and you know, we are totally codependent. That's been their power over us, and so now the spider is tweaking the spider is, or somebody's just gone whoosh, bang, kaboom, and the whole thing is fucked. Because believe me, it is fucked, right? It is. It's not just going to go back to normal and everything will just be back to normal. That will not happen. They controlled the system because they created it. You see, I told you, they've taken everything. They've taken all the resources. They've taken every fucking thing. Create money. It's a prison. It's a system. And we are the prisoners via our codependence upon it. So this is very hard for us. This goes to the very core of our being, you know. Well, but who will look after me? Who will give me what I need? Well, what about my phone and my food, and what about my painkillers, and what about my this and that and who and our? There is no infrastructure other than the system's infrastructure. And yeah, it's like all of a sudden you think, well, it will kill indiscriminately, because when the system is wiped away and then they start implementing their totalitarian fascist regime and whatnot, where do you draw the line? How are you going to get what you need? That's when you start really feeling the truth of your shadow, you know. Oh yeah, so it will bring it all up. You start to think, well, where do I draw the line? And they come banging on my door saying, right, we're here to forcibly vaccinate you. What do you do? But you see, this is the point. The thing I was talking about, you know, the timelines, the bandwidths, that sort of shit. I don't know how that will play out, but I do know that it's imperative for those of us who can to hold space now. There, that power, the sentinel, call it what you will, it's there. Keep tuning into that now, people. It's so important. That is something that we can do. The shadow there is saying, well, that's not going to make any difference, that's not going to make any difference, you should panic and imagine this is going to happen, that's going to happen, that's going to happen, that's going to happen, and it's all terrible and it's all really, really bad because the people taking over the world are the devourers. They're going to rape, murder and torture us all, and that's it, and that's it, oh my god. See, that's what plays out here. But fear is the mind killer, and our fear, our shadow is their food. It's their food. It's how they receive their sustenance, people. So stop feeding those fuckers. That is imperative. See, we are the ones that matter. We are souls. We are raw, pure, powerful, potent consciousness. So it is what we do with that now that matters. So we must withhold sustenance from them. We must keep going within and be with ourselves and really do the work, really be within, really do that in as far as we know how, in our own unique way. We reach out to each other, we stay connected as much as we can for as long as we can, right? This is important. Communion is important, you know. People need each other, believe it or not. Not need each other because, oh, I'm not to feed off of parasitically, no, but to inspire and uplift. That's how we need each other. This is a whole new paradigm, people. That which kept us enslaved and codependent while siphoning off our energy is crumbling. And yes, they are doing that, I think, on purpose, because they want to, you know, totalitarian takeover. But hey, we were already living in a totalitarian state anyway. It's just it's going to get a bit meaner now, a bit more in your face and a bit more overt. Well, rather, that is what they want. But what if that is not going to happen? You see, that is just it, because here I am feeling that no, that's not going to happen. My shadow's going, well, yeah, it's going to happen, we're all doomed. You know, it's there going, well, at least I have a warm bath, a coffee and a packet of razor blades. Sniffle, sniffle. dribble. And it's like, no, fuck that, I ain't doing that. Something tells me that this is going to work out. But at this juncture, you know, like mass consciousness thinks that that's insane. It thinks it's insane to think that, but or feel that. But I feel that. I do feel it. And some people have said this to me. You know, a friend, a dear friend and subscriber keeps saying this to me as well. Thank you, Beth. And it inspires me. It inspires me. It nourishes me and it inspires me. And this is what we need right now. It does feel strongly like, okay, it's this is a reset. This is about some sort of reset. And I've got to tell you guys that every time I do the cards for it, every time I've laid the cards, they've been very powerfully good. Yes, the Tower. Yes, the Emperor. Yes, death. Good. Death to the structures, the satanic structures of this prison. Death. Let the dead bury the dead. Let it die. They may inadvertently, somehow are bringing about their own demise, people. And our consciousness is potent and powerful and it's playing its part here and it's going to be alright. That is what I feel. See? So, I'm just going to keep going with that whilst navigating the inner darkness that's still... Oof, wow. I'm doing it. I'm walking that path. Ups and downs. Ups and downs. We are not alone in this, you see. Help is at hand. Not in the way of, oh, they're coming to save you. No. But we could use some help. That's fine. Good, wholesome, sound cooperation, a bit of assistance, yes, fantastic. There is so much more than this plain, grey, mundane reality for the small, little people mentality, right? Oh, and I'm going to get my pension, and then I'm going to get a nice pensioner's flat, and I pay my taxes. You see, that's the prison, that's the system, and the codependent little people bullshit. There is so much more than my fucking God, there is so much more. Wow. So, yes, people, yes. Okay. Now, I want to hear from you, wherever you are, whoever you are, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what's going down in your neck of the woods. So, leave me a comment. And if you're on Facebook, then, you know, connect with me. Send me a friend request, whatever. It's important that we connect. Alright? I'm interested in hearing what is happening in your neck of the woods. I'm interested in hearing from people who are doing the work. Right? I'm not interested in hearing a barrage of self-hating negativity, but I am interested in hearing from people who are doing the work and who are standing in their light and in their power. Yes, I want to hear from you. So leave me a comment, get in touch, and logistically speaking, somehow I think we are all connected, this soul traveler community, in these pivotal spots throughout the field, as it were. So from there we emanate our light. We do this even when we feel pretty shitty. We still do it because it is our nature. It's our true self doing that, right? So that is powerful stuff. So this is not going to go their way. This is somehow, this will lead to their demise somehow. I know it sounds crazy, but there it is. That's what I feel. So people, all my love to all of you, and you know, hang in there and just look after yourself, look after your animals, your children. Be smart, be careful, Feel things out, use your intuition, critically think, yes? We are people.